Hello, my name is Vince Romo. The show that you are about to see is about Barrio Lifestyle, about being raised in the barrio, being from the barrio, the do's, the don'ts, the what's and the where's, the who's and the how's. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to Barrio Driven. Today, we are joined by Victor Zapata, also known as Beaver from Northside Bolen. Victor,
pleasure to be here. Thank you for allowing me to be here.
The pleasure's ours, homie. You know what? So, before we get started, if you want to give a quick, brief introduction to the audience, please do.
How you doing, everybody? My name's Beaver from Northside Bolen. Some people know me as Young Beef's Comedy, and it's a blessing to be here on your podcast.
No, the blessing is ours. Kana, thank you for being here. You know what? Not everybody wants to sit in that seat. You know, we call it the hot seat because you know what? We hit you guys heavy. Not that we're trying to, you know what I'm saying, make you feel remorse, or we're trying to make you say, oh, we wanna know exactly what's inside here.
Yes.
We wanna know what's inside of Victor Zapata. You know? So, you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go, familia. Tell me about your childhood, Kana.
Okay, so I was born 1983. Okay. I was born in LA, and ever since I was a kid, I mean, I wanted to be a homie. All my family are homies, and like to me, it was nothing like out of the ordinary to see, you know, like homies, because especially in LA, I grew up. I was born in the west side of LA, right? So, like, my mom moved us from LA to Baldwin Park because she's seen, like, how we're getting exposed, like, heavily to gangs. But I'm a strong believer that when something's embedded in you, like the seed's already planted, it's going to happen. You know, so we ended up moving to Baldwin Park, and I ended up joining Northside right there, my neighborhood.
So, you're telling me that as a kid, you were already surrounded by the neighborhood lifestyle.
Yeah, because my family's from Temple Street. I have cousins from Carnales and stuff like that. They're from LA gangs.
Yeah.
And when I was at a very young age, like, I seen that.
And were you, I would say, you were attracted to that? I
just liked the respect they got. You know, like, I would see my cousins and they would all post up in Temple Street. Yeah. And I was like, damn, people respect these guys. You know, like, I wanted to feel like I was somebody, because when I was at home, I felt like a nobody. Like I told you, I grew up in a dysfunctional home. You know, I was getting, like, beat up physically all the time. You know, and I would never knock my parents for what they did, because that's how they knew. That's how they got educated to teach us. And that's what they learned, and that's what they gave us, you know.
And who was beating you up? Was it your mom, your dad,
so what it was, my mom originally had me with somebody else, like my real father, which I don't know. But she married my stepdad. So when they got married, my stepdad told her, hey, I'm like their dad now, so I have the right to, like, pretty much discipline them. Yeah. And they're both from Mexico, and they got disciplined like that, you know. And so it was rare, and it was weird to me because I was already 4 or 5 when they hooked up. So there was good times, but when the bad times, it just didn't feel right. I didn't feel right that he would hit me. And the way they would hit us wasn't like, oh, just a spank. It was like bad. Like, we're talking about belts, ramas, extension cords. It was like abuse, you know. But to me, it was normal, because I'm like, okay, everybody must get hit like this. Yeah. And I knew it wasn't normal because it was like 3rd grade. I go to school, and one of my teachers, no, 4th grade, one of my teachers, my shirt was hurting, my back, you know, from getting messed up. Yeah. And she's like, what's wrong? And she's seen it, and I lied. I told her that I skid on a skateboard. Wow. But in reality, it was because my dad had whooped on me so bad for being 5 minutes late.
And you know what? I think that, because I kind of went through that too. I think that our parents, whatever it was back in the day, it was I think they were more violent, I guess you could say, or more stronger, more, you know, strict on the discipline.
Yes, exactly.
You know, the bouts were okay, the hangers were okay.
Yeah, we took all that.
We took it all, homie. You know what I'm saying? I took it too. So you're getting abused by your stepfather.
And my mother. It was weird because let's say, for instance, if I got in trouble my stepdad would leave from 3 to 11 for work.
Yeah.
Before he would leave, I'd get spanked by him. Boom, 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 boom.
What would you get spanked for, Colonel?
Fucking anything. It was like they were super strict. Like we couldn't come home late because we'd walk home from school.
Yeah.
And we got out at 2 something, so I had to like rush home because he had to be there to let us in. So me and my brother would have to rush home from elementary to get home so he can go to work, and we'd have to wait for my mom till 5. But so let's say, for instance, we got there because we were kids, we're bullshitting, excuse my language, and we got there at 3:05. Now he's late for work, so
and he's pissed.
He's pissed. He would spank us.
Yeah,
he would spank us first, and then my mom would come home at 5, and then she would spank us again.
She would spank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was always like a double hitter. He would spank us first, then her, or her first, then him when he came home at 11.
So is it safe to say that you were physically abused?
I was, yeah, but you could say, yeah, because I got spanked and all that. But I mean, to me, I like I said, I'm not protecting them or anything. I just don't look at it as abuse because I know now when I seen him, and like I actually beat my dad before. I hit him, we got into it, and I know he didn't know no better. Like I see him and I'm just like, he did what he knew. And although it was wrong, I know that it's what they learned and how they disciplined us, you know?
Are your parents still alive right now?
They're still alive. Both of my parents are still alive.
And so I didn't mean to cut you off. You tell me that you said that you beat up your dad?
The way it happened was because, like, as a kid, he would always spank us, you know? So he was like a real, like a machista, let's say, right?
Yeah.
He was the man of the house, like his word went. And one day he tried to spank me, and I'm already like a teenager, and I told him, hey, you know what? I'm not a kid. You can't put hands on me like that.
Yeah.
So he still tries to hit me, and I go off on him. We get into it. My brother gets involved. That's the first altercation that kind of escalated.
Yeah.
Second escalation, situation that escalated. I got out of YA, and I'm like, I did like maybe like 7 years, and I'm like big, and I'm already on a different tip, you know.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know me because he still remembers me as a little kid, you know.
Yeah.
He doesn't see me as a threat. And he always felt like he was the man of the house. It's like the alpha male, alpha male, let's say, right? So I seen him doing some shady stuff, and I was like, I knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Like, I won't say what he did, but I was just like, hey, you know what? Like, that ain't cool. Like, my sisters are here, right? And he's like, he's drunk with his friends. Like, shut up, no sabes nada, right? And I told him, hey, you know what? Like, put that shit away. And he goes, you ain't gonna tell me to do nothing. This is my house. Oh, wow. So when he like brushed me off, I already had been in YA, and I looked at it like as a form of disrespect. So how do you handle disrespect? You take flight.
Yeah.
So I take flight, and we get into an altercation, and my mom, she backs him up.
Oh, wow.
She backs him up, and like I said, I don't blame her because that's what the Mexican, like, let's say the tradition, stand by your man. You know, even though I was her son, she had to stand by her husband también.
Yeah.
And because of this, they had problems también. Because I told her straight out, I was like, you know what, I'm your son. I'm your blood. This is some fool. Like, this fool will leave you.
Yeah.
And she kicks me out, and she ended up, like I told you, she called the cops on me. She calls the cops. I'm strapped. I'm running down the street. And because of this situation, me and my mom didn't talk. We didn't talk for like 2 years.
Wow.
Like a year, let's say, good, solid year. She would go visit me, and I'm like, I don't want to talk to you. Like, you know, I'm facing years because of what happened, you know?
Yeah.
And like, now that I'm older, I'm just like, you know what? She just didn't want me to go out there and kill somebody, you know, or get killed. Yeah. That's why she told me, and I forgave her. And like I said, I forgave my stepdad too.
Was there drug abuse in the house?
There wasn't nothing like that. No. It was just my dad was an alcoholic. He was an alcoholic, heavy alcoholic. And, you know, that's why I'm not saying it's okay, but I think that's part of the reason why I'm an alcoholic.
So you battle with alcohol?
Yeah, I'm an alcoholic.
How much do you drink a day?
I'm not like I used to. I used to drink a lot, like every day from sun up to sundown. But now, I mean, my problem is like, because I endured so much stuff and I went through stuff, and I'm strong. I could do it, right?
Yeah.
But like, in order to like hug somebody comfortably and I'm sober, I won't be able to do it. Like, I want to feel vulnerable. I want to feel like I don't have to be on my toes 24/7, man. Yeah. And I know it's wrong, but like, when I'm drinking, I feel more approachable. I feel more friendly. I feel like my guard's down. And it numbs the pain. It makes me forget about like all the shit that happened and all the people that I've hurt, you know?
Yeah.
Because like I told you, I do have a conscience. And the reason why I never let it go, because I know people that have lost their conscience. And they're like, you know, it is what it is. They had it coming or whatever. I never did it because I know for a fact there ain't no coming back from that. You know, it's so hard. It's miracles that happen.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna hold it as a lesson learned. Yeah. Everything that I go through, and I know I need help. I know I need to go seek mental health, and you know, but I don't do it because for so many years, like they embedded in your head, like, hey, you know, that's weak, or don't do that. Yeah. Like, you know, you can't break, can't do this.
Yeah.
But in reality, I'm breaking myself by getting loaded, wanting to die, you know, getting caught slipping.
Now, let me tell you something, is we usually go from, when I start the interviews, from the childhood to their teenage years. This one's a little different, and only because some of the things that you're telling me. Let me ask you this, Karnam. Do you want to die?
I mean, a part of me, I'll be honest, I do.
Why do you want to die, Karnam?
I feel like I love to live, but then there's days that I just feel like I've caused so much damage. Like, I think it'd be better if I wasn't here. You know, I wouldn't be hurting my girl. I wouldn't be, you know, like doing so much damage, like to my kids. You know, because obviously them seeing me drunk every weekend, it's fucking them up. It's making them think like it's okay. You know, and I see it with them now because, you know, like I had an experience where one of my daughters told me something, and like I wanted it to be honest, but then I just straight up told her, because she was dating this guy, and you know, she's a teenager, you know, we all dated, and she's like, oh yeah, he loves me, that and this and that. And I told her, like, you know what, because she was backing this fool up, and I told her, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. She's like, you don't know him. And I said, look, I was that guy.
Yeah.
Just the way he's trying to play you, he's gonna sleep with you and he's gonna leave you. Yeah. And she's like, how do you know? And I was like, because I did it.
Yeah.
Because I was that guy doing that shady shit. Yeah. And I don't want her to go through that.
Let me ask you. Right now, you just told me about, by you talking to your daughter needs you.
Yeah,
so
she does.
Do you not believe that, how many kids do you have?
I have 2 kids.
Boys, girls,
I have 2 girls.
Okay. So you have 2 beautiful daughters. You have a beautiful wife. Do you not believe that they are worth you
They are.
For?
I just sometimes I get so caught up in my feelings where like I feel like a disappointment. You know, like I feel like I should be doing more. And I'm being honest with you because, you know, like I dedicated so much of my life to being something or living a certain life.
Yeah.
And I didn't care, you know? And it's sad because, you know, when I was in prison, the first times I started going to prison, I had no kids.
Yeah.
And when I went just recently, this last time, it was so hard because I loved my kids. And what's messed up is that I knew that if I had that mindset where I had to think about my kids, it would be my life. I would lose my life. I wouldn't be able to do what I needed to do to survive, because you can't have one foot in and one foot out.
No, exactly. And you know what? As you said, you know, me as a man, I'm gonna tell you, I know for a fact, shadow of a doubt, your kids need you.
Yeah, they do.
Your wife needs you.
Yeah.
Because if God forbid you weren't around, or you did something, you know, I don't even want to think like that. You know what I'm saying? You did something to hurt yourself.
Yeah, but I wouldn't.
You'd only be causing your family more pain.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because your daughters are gonna get older.
Yeah.
You know, guys are gonna come around.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And if daddy ain't here, who's gonna protect them?
Nobody.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, if, you know, dad's not around, at some point, your wife is gonna want companionship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Who knows what kind of man would come in, you know what I'm saying? Not saying that your wife, not saying that your wife doesn't have a good head on her shoulders, but you know what I'm saying? She may, you know, I mean, you know, that's that saying, love makes you do stupid things.
Exactly.
We've all been, we've all done that. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And so, you have to be here.
No, I am.
You're needed.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
There's just a feeling, like I'm being open.
You use the alcohol to numb your pain.
Exactly. And because the thing about me is, like, even though I do feel sometimes, I know I'll never act on it because it's so embedded in my head that I will never kill myself. It's weird. It's like, I just wanted to be open about how I feel sometimes, because I feel like it's normal to feel like you failed, and for so many years it was like embedded in my head, in my heart, like, hey, don't be weak, don't be like that, like, hey, always keep your head up. That, like, it was poisoning myself.
I've heard you say a few times that you feel like you failed. Why do you feel like you failed, Karnan?
I feel to be straight up with you, I feel like I failed because, let's say I did so much bad, right? I did.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. I can't undo it. I hurt a lot of people in and out of the system.
Yeah.
And now that I'm living a different life, I'm just like, damn, like I dedicated so much of my life, which I don't regret, because it made me the person I am. It gave me the heart I have. It gave me the conscience I have. It gave me like my morals. I didn't learn my morals in a book or through my family. I remember I learned my way of thinking, my morals in the system.
Yeah.
Somebody told me, and although they were bad and it was a bad influence, I got the best out of it,
Yeah.
And I feel like I failed because I feel like I could have gave my kids a better life. I failed as a father because for 8 years of both of my kids, I wasn't there. I was gone in prison. They didn't know me. For my sister's life, I wasn't there, And I feel like if you keep putting this mentality of like, I've never failed in life, then you never lived. You never took that risk. You never learned.
Yeah.
So I'm man enough to admit that I failed as a father, as a husband, as a son, because I want to be better. And I feel like that's the first step, accepting it. Hey, why am I going to live in denial?
You know one thing I would love for you to do if you're willing? Because your wife and your kids are going to see this interview. I would love for you to, if you want to, look into that camera and tell your family how much exactly they mean to you. And if you have anything that, if you're sorrowful, tell them.
I just want to say to my wife and to my family, my daughters, that I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I wasn't there like I should have been there. I'm sorry that I took you guys for granted, and now I'm making a promise that I'm gonna be a better father. I'm gonna make the choices that I should have made a long time ago. That's what I'm saying.
That's right, Colonel. That's right, homie.
Yeah, it's always good. I feel like that's part of being a man.
It is.
Because I feel like if you're just in denial and just living every day doing the same thing, it's like they say that's the meaning of insanity. Doing the same thing and expecting different results.
Yeah.
And for years I was like that. I was fed into my mind and poisoned that propaganda that it's weak to seek help. It's weak to do this. And you know what? Like I told you, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be like, hey, you know what? I failed. I could have done better. Or maybe I need to work on myself.
Yeah.
That's part of growing,
And you know what thing is that you start today. You know what I'm saying?
Every day.
You know what? And every day you better yourself, Colonel.
Yeah.
And you better yourself for your own self, and you better yourself for your
loved
family.
ones.
Exactly, Colonel. And so, I mean, hey, like I said, this interview started off a little bit different, but that's all right. I mean, that's great. You know what I'm saying? Tell me the first time you got incarcerated. YA, camp, tell me.
So the first time I got incarcerated, I was a kid. I was like 11 years old.
What'd you get incarcerated?
So we're kicking it, and I'm high as hell. I'm high, and I'm
what? Where were you high on?
PCP and all kinds of stuff. Because back then everybody's doing PCP. So I'm high, and I'm not knowing that it's like all that bad. I get locked up, and I go to juvenile hall. So now I'm getting a taste for the halls, right? And I'm not gonna lie, like I said, people's like, oh, I'm down, the hardest fool. That's a lie. Nobody is born like that. You're made by the system, by the people that are around you.
Yeah.
And I learned too, because when I went to jail, to juvenile hall, I was a kid. I was scared. I was like, damn. And I would see these kids crying for their mom, and I miss my family. And I started thinking like, these fools ain't gonna make it here, man. Like shit's gonna get bad. It's gonna be bad for them.
Yeah.
So I started thinking, what am I gonna do? I gotta harden myself. I gotta learn from all these people's mistakes. And little did I know that I was just making myself a worse individual,
Yeah.
So I went to jail for that. I did maybe it was a couple of days. I get out, and I just felt, since I was a nobody growing up, when I got out, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna be victimized no more. I'm gonna be a somebody. I'm not gonna be waiting till somebody gets me. I'm gonna get them.
So is it safe to say that at that early age you were already saying, you know what? Hey, no one's gonna get me. I'm gonna become the predator. Basically saying, hey, before you even try to come and get me, I'm gonna freaking get you. Is that what you?
In a sense, but I just didn't. I just got tired of being taken advantage of. Let's say, because at home I was getting victimized.
Yeah.
Preyed on. Yeah. So you could say, it was like I just didn't want to let nobody walk all over me like that.
Absolutely.
So I started going to jail. I got locked up again. I got thrown on probation. And then we moved. I started kicking it with my homies. So I seen that whole get down that we had, right?
Yeah.
And my homies started telling me like, hey, this is what we do, this is how it is. And I started getting more of a feel for the whole rhythm, you know, how it goes.
Tell me about juvenile hall.
So when I went to
what did you see in there?
When I first went to juvenile hall, I mean, it was back in the days, you know. So I learned that it's like a dog, like you gotta like only the strong survive, you know.
Yeah.
It's a dog eat world, you know.
Yeah.
So you have to do whatever you gotta do to survive, you know. People are getting brushed, and I started since I was already from a neighborhood. It was like a different vibe because I had a lot of enemies. El Monteflores, Azusa, Bassett, Puente, 18, and we all go to LP. Yeah. So I learned right off the back, like it's boxing all day long.
Yes.
So we're going at it right there. I go from juvenile hall. I go to foster homes. I went to Dorothy Kirby's placement.
Yeah.
And then I ended up going to camp. So it's like moving up the ladder, right?
Yes.
And I'm still a teen. I'm 13, like 12, 13, right? I already went to camp twice. I went to Challenger. I was in Resnick. I was in Scobie. And I'm just like, damn, this is just getting worse. Yes. But it wasn't really serious time. It was always months, 9 months, a year, bullshit.
Yeah.
So finally, I get out of camp, and I did like a year in Camp Scudder.
Yeah.
I get out of camp, and so I'm kicking it with my homies, and we're getting high on Cocoa Puffs. We get into a scuffle doing community service, because when you get out of juvenile hall, you have to do community service. Yeah. We're doing community service, and something happens, and we ended up carjacking somebody. So when we carjacked this fool, my homie's driving, I'm in the passenger, my homie's in the back. We try to take this car to like my homie's house, right?
Yeah.
To get some feria. So when we go, bam, we get pulled over. Bam, it's in front of my homegirl Tiny's house.
Yeah.
And the victim's in the car, and I'm like, damn, we're fucked. They like ID'd us and everything. So I'm thinking I'm gonna go back to camp. And hell no.
You ain't going to camp.
I didn't know. So I go to court, and the judge is like, you know what? I already see that the juvenile system's doing nothing to you. So we're sending you to YA. And I was like, fuck, dude. And the way they said it, and my mom went to court, and I felt so bad, man. Because they're like, your son's going to go to prison. It's like a juvenile prison. Yeah. And I'm just thinking, like, how hard could it be? I already had been in Los Padrinos, Silmar. I could do it. But YA was like a whole other ballpark, man. It was totally different, way more violent, I was exposed to way more than I should have, you know?
Well, what were you exposed to?
So when I go to YA, I'm a kid, you know? And as soon as I go in there, boom, I already know with the get down, you know? I go to Norwalk, getting down fools, getting down my enemies. But now it's like a set of rules, right? Because at that time, there was like Firme Raza and like Levas. So Firme Raza is, let's say, like the accepted crowd.
Yeah.
Like, let's say, you know, the people that can do stuff, cannot do stuff, kind of that, or control, let's say, in power. Respected blacks or anybody that's Bloods, Crips that are respected. Yeah. Now you have your Levas, which is somebody who is like pretty much like exiled by their people, which could be Mexican, black, whatever. And Levas could be black, Mexican, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you have your cases. Cases is somebody who is under somebody's protection. Yeah. So there's people, and what I mean in that is like, if you're not about that life or active in YA, you're going to be taken care of. Yeah. Like somebody's going to own you. You're somebody's property, man.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's crazy because it was a whole nother world.
What was when you first seen that, how did that make you feel?
It made me, I was like blown away. I was like, what the hell? Like, how can you own somebody?
Yeah.
Not only that, but just the sexual abuse that was going on. It was crazy. People are getting like raped left and right. People like giving head in the day room, and I was like, "What the hell?
What's going on here?"
Yeah, so
it was
bad.
Yeah, it was. I bet you. And seeing all that, did it make you? I mean, make you regret like saying, "Damn, what am I doing?"
I honestly thought like, "Damn, like I bit more than I could chew." But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna walk out just like I did. I'm gonna survive. And my issues happened because the people that were in power were my enemies. Yeah. And these people were so empowered that their motto was like, nobody that's an enemy is gonna be firme or survive here. So they would purposely go out of their way and make anybody that was their enemy, like leva, or like degrade them, beat them down. They smash them, you know? Wow. And you're outnumbered. When I went to YA, I was only one against hundreds of people, you know? Wow. So, I mean, even though...
Were you fighting there every day almost?
Every day. Every day. And it's crazy because I have so much trauma because you're constantly on your toes, getting down. And it gets tiring, you know, because you're like, when is the fighting going to end?
Stop.
That's why I even tell my wife now, like, because she has a certain way of looking, and I tell her like, "Oh, I'm tired of fighting like that." But I feel like you have to. You have to keep going. You know.
Yeah.
Fight for now. You're fighting for something else, and my issues like escalated really bad because, like when I went to YA. Like I was telling you, I got disowned by the Mexicans. And what that means is because when we sat down on the tables, or in the little bench when you come in for the shower area, they're supposed to lace you up and tell you what's up, right? Yeah. So when I went, I never got laced up or nothing because they knew that my enemies were in power. Wow. So they were like, no go right off the back, right? Wow. So these fools tell me like, hey, you know what? Like because of your enemies, you could never be firme. Like they ain't gonna allow it. And if it does, it's gonna be a miracle. So right off the back, I had that obstacle to carry, right? I had to like jump over that hurdle.
Yeah.
So I'm going at it with all my enemies. And the mistake that I made was that I didn't know like the proper way of being laced up.
Yeah.
So there's a word called reject. Yeah. So when you shoot, the way people fight in YA is they shoot at each other. Yeah. The shooting game, they disrespect somebody's dead homies or family, right?
Yeah.
So somebody shot at me, and this person had a big ass ramfla. And a ramfla is like a let's say homies, they all get down after each other, they have each other back.
Yeah.
I had nobody. So exactly. So these homies, this vato shoots at me, sends me a huila, right? Yeah. Well, a huila is a letter.
Yeah, Tom.
Yeah, okay. So a huila is a letter, a small letter that's written with a message, let's say, right? I get this letter and I'm just like, what the hell is this? So I'm pissed. I'm already like disowned because of the bullshit that's happening to me. I had issues in my first day there, right? Which I'll talk about right now. I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. Reject. Call me big ass reject. I wrote. And I send it back to him. Little did I know that by writing that one word, I shot at all those barrios. So I shot at Florencia. I shot at Monteflores. I shot at 18th Street. I shot at gangs that I never even heard of. Colonia Chiques, La Puente. There was so many gangs to keep, and these are big gangs in YA, right? Yeah. So I didn't know, and the way I figured it out was because the gang coordinator comes, right, and he's like, "Hey, these people," and then I'll explain that right now, right? So the gang coordinator, there was this program called Boot. Yeah. It was called Brothers Out of Trouble. And what this program was made was pretty much to keep people out of trouble, right? Let's say we're enemies. Yeah. And you go to the gang coordinator and you tell them, hey, you know what? My enemy's here. I don't want to fight him. Let's go talk to him. Yeah. So the gang coordinator will take you to your unit and be like, hey, so-and-so right here, he doesn't want to fight you. If something happens, it's on you because he says he don't want to fight. Yeah. And they would sign a paper, and all these vatos came to my unit. It was like 20 people from different gangs. Damn. Like, oh yeah, you know, we don't want to fight. And I'm just thinking in my mind, like, this is a messed up system. Because now when I fight all these guys, I'm the one getting the time. They're gonna walk away, no write-up. Yeah. And that's what happened. So within, let's say 3 months, I already had accumulated all my time. I was already maxed out. Because of this stupid system, excuse my language, this stupid system that they made, you know, and even when I went to board, when I paroled, they're like, I had a big old, like 2 files, all full of fights. Wow. And they're like, oh, you know, you're right here and this and that. And I was like, you know what? All those write-ups is because you people didn't do your job. You know, you guys knew what I was going through. I was just trying to survive, you know? Yeah. And for years, I would always like trip out because when you're in YA, the day room's, let's say, this big. The staff was sitting in a little thing right there. Yeah. And they knew what was going on. They seen people get beat up. Yeah. They knew what levels were. They knew what cases were. Yeah. Why didn't they help? Why didn't they prevent that? You know? Yeah. And I just, to this day, I'm just like...
It's unfortunate because...
It's messed up. So many people, they got traumatized, you know? Well, yeah. And that's why I told you I wanted to come on to your podcast and just share my message because for years, my story was unspoken of because like I told you, I had gained a certain respect in my neighborhood, in prison, in YA, that you wouldn't speak about my past in YA. Like, people knew it, but I had so much respect in the system, and now people wouldn't say it. Nobody would say it. Yeah. So one day, I'm kicking it, and I'm like getting drunk, and I'm just like, damn, man, like I feel it was a weird like thought that I felt like I had to share my story. Why? Because there was somebody that I knew in YA that did like this, they did them dirty, you know? And I started thinking, I know I'm fucked up and traumatized because of what I went through, and I survived. Yeah. I could imagine what the people that were getting raped, the people that were cases, getting beat up, had to do sexual favors. How do they feel? They probably feel worse. They probably did kill themselves. Wow. You know, maybe they did OD or whatever.
How many, if you were to, you know, think, how many people would you say, honestly, that you, in all those 25 years in prison, would you say that you've seen take their own life, or seen people being raped, or how many, or being murdered? How many would you really? A lot,
especially like as a kid. Like I was telling you, like when I went to YA, I had never seen nothing like that in my life. It was like a different. I look at the system as an animal. Yeah. Juvenile hall was a certain kind of animal. I tamed it. Yeah. Went to camp, it was a different kind of animal, a little more different, but I tamed it. When I went to YA, I was like, dude, this is a monstrosity. This is a real, like a sickness, an epidemic. But I knew in my heart, because I always had that heart, you know, and I know I could tell anybody, and anybody who's been in the system will tell you, you could have hands, you could have guns, but if you don't got no heart, they don't mean nothing.
I was gonna tell you, you had mentioned to me off camera that there was an individual, and we don't have to say his name, or it's up to you, and he was a friend of yours.
Yes. So I had a couple friends that happened to. One of my first friends, like I said, I won't say his name. He was firme raza, and I wasn't firme raza. So in that aspect, we couldn't even talk to each other. It was like segregation in the like segregation. We would have to sit in a metal table, and in this table, you would see like the gay people, the cases, and I would have to sit with them. So I got to know these people, and I felt their pain, man. Yeah. Because every day they didn't know if they were gonna get beat up. They didn't know they were gonna get raped. They didn't know what was gonna happen. Like I told you, they could get sold. Somebody could be like, hey, you know what? Tonight you're going with this guy. What are you gonna do? You got no say so. You're scared shitless. Yeah. You know? So my first situation that touched home was with my homie. Like I said, I won't say his name. It was this guy. He was a friend, right? Yeah. And we're together in SRCC. We go to Neles, and that's the way I was in Neles, right? So while I'm in Neles, this was Firme Raza. He's fighting this guy, and he slips. So when he falls, there's certain rules that you can't break. And why this guy gets kicked, like stomped out. So the minute somebody stomps you out, you're leva. Yeah. So I see my homie get stomped out, and I'm like, dude, like it's over. Like he's leva as fuck now. Yeah. So he starts sitting with me at the table, and I tell him we're still talking. And I was like, hey, fool, like no matter what happens, fool, don't go out. Look at me. I'm still fighting, fool. These fools try to take me out. We could ride together. Yeah. But when the same people who got me, you know, into the whole situation, you know, they pushed up on him, he wasn't strong-willed. He gave up, and I didn't think he was, man. Like, they took him over there, and I told him, fool, if you go over there, be trucha, because look at what they did to me. Yeah. You know? And I tried to help him, but I just seen his head go down, and that was it. Wow. He started, like, doing those, whatever he was doing, and like it broke my heart, man. And like I never wanted to like speak about it with him, because like I just felt like, damn, dude, like you're going through so much. Yeah. But I would always tell him like, hey, how you doing, dog? You good? Yeah. And I started noticing that the more it happened to him, the more he got beat up, the more he was getting raped. He wouldn't eat. He was like covered his head, and like I was like, damn, these fools are like killing this fool, dude. Like that's fucked up. Yeah. And everybody turned a blind eye. Everybody was like, oh, we don't know what's going on, you know, staff and homies. Everybody was like...
How many times do you think that you witnessed or knew that he was being raped?
A lot.
Really?
A lot, yeah. It was sad, eh? It was sad. It was fucked up. And, you know, I know some people, and they'll be like, oh, you know, we didn't know better, we were kids. But I'm just thinking, like, in my mind, like, you knew better. You knew that wasn't right. Like, and you're an animal that you were okay with doing it. They would laugh about it. They would beat up on fools or do whatever they did, and they just go laugh like, oh yeah, hey, fuck that fool. And I would just be in the table mad, like you're a piece of shit, dude. Yeah. And that's why I told you that I wanted to do this podcast, and I wanted to send a message, because that's what drove me every day. Like, fuck that. I'm not gonna go out. I'm not gonna let these fools keep doing this bullshit. Yeah. And I told them, hey, one day I promise you, I'm gonna be at the top of your fucking food chain, and I'm gonna fucking make sure that, because it was firme raza. Yeah. I told them I'm gonna disassemble this firme raza. It's not gonna exist. They laugh at me. Wow. And what's fucked up is I did it. I was in YA for so many years, and my struggle came to an end. I became Firme Raza finally, and I told them straight out, the first thing we're gonna do is fuck Firme Raza. That shit's done. Yeah. There's no more Firme Raza, and I told them, we're changing the rules, dog. There's no more fucking raping of the homies. Yeah. And what they would do is they would let like the blacks take advantage of the Raza. And I told them, okay, so-and-so's weak, he's with us. We take care of him. Yeah. Nobody's gonna exploit our people, because people are getting exploited. You literally have to pay rent to another man for your protection. I said, fuck that. That's not going on no more. There's no more case passing, nothing. It's done, you know?
Wow. So you helped put a stop to that.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. Anybody who's been in YA knows that transition was done. Firme Raza was done. So now if anybody that went to YA after that, it was called homies. We thought of it because, you know, I look at it like somebody's going to be with you, somebody's going to protect you as your homies. As your homies. So a bunch of us that were there, Sad Boy, Toro, a lot of us that were there, they knew what I went through. Yeah. And all because of favoritism, because of a name. I was like, fuck that name. Fuck, excuse my language. Yeah. You know, it's like, now it should be about us, you know, taking care of ourselves. And we're not going to do that. So, I did it because it happened to me and because I wanted something better for our raza, you know? For our
gente.
Yeah, exactly.
And what happened to that individual? Whatever happened?
I don't know what happened to him. So that guy that we're talking about, he ended up, he took off, he PC'd up and snitched on everybody that he got raped and everything. But the situation that I told you about, I'm in lockup, right? And at this time, I'm Leva still. Yeah. So I got brought up the first time in Taft. So Taft Cottage is a special, it's like a lockup, and then they have Nixon. Yeah. So the first time I go to Taft, they bring me up Firme Raza because Firme Raza and respected blacks, like I said, are the groups that are in power, right? Yeah. So one day I'm kicking it, and my bunkie, which is like a person who sleeps with you. Yeah. He's we're just chopping it up. We chop it up every day, right? Yeah. So we're right there talking, and I see this guy running, and I'm like, what the hell are they gonna do? So they start getting down. A respected black and a Firme Raza. Yeah. So they're like, I tell you, there's rules, that unspoken rules, right? That a black could never stomp out a Mexican. Yeah. Because the right has to kick off, right? So this happens, this guy falls, and the black guy just starts stomping on him, boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, oh, hell no, like, it's gonna crack. So I'm in the top, and I jump off. And my celly grabs me, and he's like, what are you doing? You're not feeding me, fool. You don't gotta get involved. Yeah. And I was like, fool, that fool's Mexican, dog. He's a homie. Yeah. And he's like, you're stupid, fool. Don't go. You don't need to go. Yeah. But I run over there. Because he's Raza, you know? In my heart, I know it's right. Even though I didn't have to, I ran over there, and I start backing this fool up, hitting the black guy. And this is when I knew that it wasn't all cut up to be what it was, right? Yeah. Because that day it was a riot. There was a lot of blacks that got involved. Only 8 Firme Raza got involved, and there was like 30 of them. Oh, wow. And we go to lock up, and I'm sprayed, and I'm just like, I thought you guys were crazy. You guys are supposed to be the group, y que firme que wow. Nobody jumped in. Wow. And they were just like, oh, it's because I got to visit this weekend. Or I'm like, this is supposed to be like the creed, homie. Yeah. So I go to Taft, I become Firme Raza because of this. They bring me up, and I go back to my unit. So this is what happens. I'm going at it with my enemies right there, right? Yeah. And so the blacks push up on me. The blacks know that I'm not considered Mexican. Yeah. So they want to put me under the guns. So when this happens, this guy like sits me down, and he's like, hey, you know what? Like, the Mexicans don't claim you. And what gets me mad the most is that they open yard, right? The day everyone's going on, they open yard so they can go out of yard. The Mexicans just go out. Like, they let it happen, dog. Yeah. So these fools are right there, and they're like, hey, this black is like, you're gonna be under my guns. And I told him, Chales, I said, I'm not gonna be under your guns. Yeah. I don't need protection. I could do it on my own. And he tells me straight, nobody does it on their own. You need to be either under somebody's gun or be Firme Raza or respected black. You ain't black, so you can't be respected black. Yeah. You ain't Firme. So this fool like tells me to like give him head, eh? He's like, if you can't pay, give me head. Yeah. And I was like, all right, you want me to do that? All right, fuck it. So this fool's bigger than me. It's 3 of them, and I'm just like, you know, fuck this fool. Like, I'm not gonna let this fool get me. Yeah. So I am sitting on a chair, right? Yeah. I get the chair and I just hit him with it. Boom. We start getting down. These fools are jumping me. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, Firme Raza's gonna back me up. Yeah. Nothing. Nobody backed me up. I'm so pissed, and I'm like hurt because these are the people I'm fighting for. This is like I told you, like I'm part of a gang because I wanted to be accepted, because I wanted to be a part of something.
Yeah.
And then they just turned their back on me.
Wow.
So I'm just like, you know what? It's all right. It's all right, because I know in my heart that I'm gonna make it, and I did. I went through a lot of struggles. I went through a lot of fights. I went through a lot of trauma, and these people went to the extent of icing me. Icing is when they have a water bottle full of piss.
Yeah.
And in YA, I had just became Firme Raza again. This is the second time. I become Firme Raza, and these fools, the black fools, are sending people on missions to get me.
Yeah.
So when somebody sends you on a mission, means that somebody tells you, hey, you know what, I'm gonna pay you this much money.
Yeah.
Or promise you something, and you fight this guy, like take him out.
Yeah.
So I'm getting attacked left and right. And one day I'm sitting down and this guy sits in front of me. And now I'm more trucha. I'm just like, okay, what's going on here?
Yeah.
This guy says, we're going to get down. So I'm like, fuck it, let's get down. This was a big ass motherfucker, like 6'7". Big ass black fool. And I'm just like, damn, man, but I'm not going to go out.
You're gonna, you got.
So I get up and I try to fight with this fool. And I see this guy's holding something in his shorts. I'm like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
He pulls it out and he just like sprays me all over. And I'm like, oh my God.
Damn.
Because of the smell, I know it's shit. And I know it's piss. And I'm like, these motherfuckers went to this low. So this fool sit like on the floor, and I'm like so enraged. And even though I'm not firme, and I'm still a human, like how you gonna do that to somebody? How you gonna degrade somebody like that?
Yeah.
And I see the bottle, I get the bottle, I run over there, boom, and I spray the fuck out of him, and I kick him in the face, boom, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, damn, like what the fuck? I go to lockup. And I do my first lockup program. I do my lockup program. So this is when I start getting into like reading, working out, because I know you can't just be physically strong. You have to be mentally strong.
You have to be.
So this is where I told you that I mean my friend, right? I knew him from juvenile hall. I won't say his name, but he was an Asian cat, right?
Yeah.
So he had been going through some issues, and this guy, like, I know it was getting worse for him because it was happening from both sides. It was the Mexicans and the blacks. So he had nobody, right? So long story short, this guy is like going down lower, right? And I tell him like, hey, fool, like you're gonna make it, fool, like I made it. Like I would always tell him, like cheer him on, like we're gonna get through this. We're gonna look back and you're gonna be good.
Yeah.
But I know his spirits and his minding were my mind. Like he already had given up. So this one situation when it happened, I had been in lockup so long and the cops knew me so much that they would let me sweep. Yeah. I would go out there and sweep and do stuff, right? So there's one situation, I'm on the top tier in Nixon, and I see this fool had hung himself. And I'm just like, damn, man, like I knew it was gonna lead to that, right?
Yeah.
And like this is when I knew that it was gonna come a point in my life where people's blood was gonna be on my hands, right? And I didn't realize it until later when I grew up older, right?
Yeah.
Because he was my friend, and I could have done the right thing. Yeah. I could have called the cop and told him like, hey, you know, this fool hung himself. But I started thinking about him like how he was suffering. He was suffering, getting beat up, getting raped, going through all kinds of shit. I just turned a blind eye. I walked away, and I was like, you know what? Because if he's alive, what is he gonna be alive for? They're gonna bring him back, and I felt bad that I did that choice. I regret it because maybe it would have been different, but I just didn't want him to suffer no more. I didn't want him to come back and get raped again, get beat up again, have to go through all that stuff, you know?
So you're saying that you saw this individual
hanging? He was just hanging.
And
I mean, he did get found. The cops eventually, because they do walks.
Yeah, of course.
When they did that walk, boom, they hit the alarm and boom.
Yeah.
But he was done.
He was gone.
He was gone.
Wow. And you didn't say anything because you felt bad for him.
I didn't want him to suffer no more.
Wow, that's heavy. That's heavy. Cause you know this as he was saying, as Beast was saying, that this individual is being raped maybe daily.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Being beat up all the time, constantly, and he took his own life, you know? And those are just some of the things that occur there.
Yeah.
You know, and with everything that you've seen, Beav, and everything that you've been through at this young age, it's safe to say that it really hardened your heart.
Yeah.
It hardened your heart, and it made you into a different individual.
Yeah, makes you colder.
Yeah, you had mentioned earlier that when we had talked off camera that you had become like, you know, almost like an animal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you were like, hey, you're going to do whatever it takes to survive. You know what I'm saying? And hey, if that means taking someone else's life, you have to do it.
Yeah, you have to do whatever you have to do to survive.
You got to do what you got to do to survive.
And it's sad because you know what, like, that's the reason why my story came forward. And you know what? I get a lot of bad, like, people always commenting on my lives or on my posts, anything like, fuck that fool, he's leva. People don't understand. I came forward because, you know what? If I'm fucked up and I went through so much shit, if I need help, I came forward for them, you know, because I know they need help. And if me, who made it to the top and back, can be man enough to say, hey, you know what? I need help. I can speak up. You can seek help. That's the only reason why I did it. I didn't do it for the fame. I didn't do it because I wanted a movie, a book. None of that.
Yeah.
I did it because I know those people need help, and I know those people never got a voice. Then who knows where they're at, you know?
Let me ask you, Kernan. As you mentioned that you've been locked up for almost 25 years. What were some of the charges that you were locked up?
I've been busted for carjacking, strong arm robbery, assaults, all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
In-house and out. In the system, in-house meaning like inside.
Yeah.
You know, I got picked up. I did a lot of bullshit while I was in prison. But it's because, you know, like I told you, it's sad to say that when I got out of YA, I thought, okay, you know what? Like, I'm done.
Yeah.
But what I noticed is it made me a worse criminal. It made me a more individual. I didn't care. That's why I always tell people, like, YA didn't help. What YA did is it made people worse, harder criminals, crazier people. Just it messed up. You know, that system failed.
Do you regret, Kernan, I asked you earlier about, you know, some of your regrets. Do you regret all the things that, you know, that you've done in your life? Do you have those regrets, or, you know what I'm saying, is there anything, you know, that you do regret, man?
I have remorse for the people like the victims, you know, because, you know, they have families. I heard a lot of people like that.
So you have remorse now?
I do.
And you didn't have remorse then?
I would say back then I looked at it like it was part of life. And I always had my morals. You know, I wasn't gonna hurt somebody who didn't have it coming. You know, because that's the way of life. And like I was telling you, it was so sad that when I went to YA, like, people are like, I'm done, I'm good. I mean, that's it. I knew I was gonna go to prison. There was no doubt in my mind that I was gonna go to prison, because at a young age, I knew that's where people like me ended up.
Let me ask you, how do you sleep at night, Kernan?
I mean, I have a lot of trouble sleeping. Like I told you, like, I take medicine like 2-3 times, and the medicine don't even work sometimes. Because I'm just thinking about like everything I went through, and I'm consciously thinking of like the people that I hurt in and out of prison. You know, one day, and the thing is, like, I'm a comedian, so my location's always open. Somebody could just pull up and boom.
Do you fear retaliation, Kernan, for some of the things that
I don't fear it, because the way I look at it is like, I did the harm. I did that, and I'll be man enough to admit that what I did it. You know.
So let me ask you this, Kernan. You know, I have a lot of respect for you. You know, because you know I have respect for you just as an individual, but also coming on the show. If someone came, Kernan, and they took your life, would you say that you had it coming?
Yeah, for a fact. I know I did, because you know, it's to break it in the simplest terms. I would say this: I was given, let's say, the opportunity to carry the torch, and I carried the torch to the best of my abilities that I could. And you know, I didn't have no good judgment. I made my own decisions, and people got hurt. You know, a lot of people got hurt, and some people might have animosity or might want to get me one day. But I want them to know, and I'm telling them directly, that I did what I did because somebody has to carry that torch. Somebody had to be that. So I didn't want to be that somebody. It's like life led me there. Because like when I told you, when I went to YA, I was a nobody. I got disowned by my people. Like, I had no authority. But once I went to the top, I made it. I felt good. Like, I said, hey, you know what? If I am going to be this somebody right here, I'm going to be a good somebody. And I'm going to make sure that I can change things. And then for years, I said, okay, so I'm going to have to be this. I'm going to have to be in this cage. I'm going to make the most difference I can in this cage. And I did. I could honestly say, you know, because I still get phone calls, you know, to this day, of people that'll be like, hey, you know, gracias, homie. Because when I went to YA, I went to the county, and then little by little, boom, 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 it like landed on me. You know, it was just like, I used to think it was destiny. Like I told you, I honestly thought, you know how people dream to be an engineer, an accountant, an actor. Like, my dream, I knew was slim and trim, and it was gonna be me being a lifer. I knew it. I felt it because of so much shit I went through.
Yeah.
I knew I was gonna end up in that cell, and I already had accepted it. It's sad. It's sad to say that in my 20s, I already had accepted that fact. You know, I knew that was my home.
At that young age, you were actually willing to accept that you weren't gonna have a wife.
Yeah, sad.
You weren't gonna have a home. You weren't gonna have all these things that we're blessed to have out here.
Yes.
And you were okay with it.
The reason why I was okay is because I looked at it like, you know what, my home was broken, my relationships were messed up. And the more you're in there, anybody that's in jail for a long time, especially involved in the shenanigans that I was involved in, and all doing all the stuff that I did, you know, you can't have 1 foot out and 1 foot in. You have to go full force. And I did it. And I went full force to the best of my ability. And you know what, like, to me, like you said, a house, a wife, a kid.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for it because I didn't know what it was like.
Yeah.
I looked at it like, you know what? Who needs a house? I got a home right here.
Yeah.
This is my house. This is my cell.
Right here.
This is home. You know, in here, out there on the streets, I'm a nobody. You know, society sees me as a nobody. Fucking cholo. Wow. In here, I'm a somebody, you know?
Yeah.
And it's sad that I got poisoned to think that that's what I had to do to be a somebody, you know? Wow. When now I look at it like, I am a somebody. I'm a husband. I'm a dad.
Yeah.
You know, I got a career. I got a job, you know? And little by little, my mentality started changing, you know?
So, back then, you would admit that you were dehumanized. Am I right?
At a point, yeah. Because, you know, a person could only go, like I told you.
You can only be so much that someone could take before you. Do you suffer from PTSD?
I got PTSD. I was actually in a mental home.
Really?
And so the whole thing that happened was, they always tell you, oh, seek help, whatever. And I never, ever talked to nobody. But this person I talked to, I started talking to him.
Yeah.
And the lady told me, like, if you don't talk to me, you're never going to leave here. You're going to be stuck right here. So this lady starts talking to me and we start chopping it up. And she's telling me, why do you hate authority so much? So we started opening up and sharing. And I tell her, hey, you know what? Like, because I feel like authority has always been against me.
Yeah.
My place is here. Your place is there. Yeah. And she would be like, oh, I can help you. And I'm like, how could you help me?
How can you help me?
You've never been through what I've been through.
Yeah.
You're sitting in that chair with that $10,000 watch. You ain't gone through what I've gone through.
Yeah.
I always wanted help from somebody that's been through what I went through.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a dumb way of thinking because, you know, mental health is serious. You know, now that I'm older, I know I got anxiety, PTSD.
Yeah.
And I suffer from sleep. I can't sleep good, like, you know. And it's all because of this way of thinking, you know, and never break, never be weak, you know.
You know what's crazy, Karna, is, you know, I've interviewed, you know, many homeboys now and homegirls, and it's crazy. Most of us suffer from PTSD. Yeah. And the reason why we suffer from, you know, mental illnesses or because when you're living the Barrio lifestyle, and you don't hear it from me, you hear it from, you know,
everybody, other people,
everybody that's been on the show. You suffer the things and choices that you make to be in the Barrio, to survive when you're incarcerated. That affects you.
For life.
Know, exactly, for life. You know, this gentleman right here, he's not affected he's going to be okay in a year. He's affected for the rest of his life. You know what I'm saying? He could make changes and he's doing great. But, you know, because of the choices that he made in life and the things that he did, the things that he's seen, he's going to suffer. We you know, I suffer from it, you know, and not as I've got to know him, not even as close as he has, you know, because you got to think this gentleman has done 25 years in prison. And and how old are you now?
Now I'm 39.
That's more than half your life.
Yeah, more than all my life I've been in jail, and it's like I told you, it was my home. It's where I felt. It's weird because I started, like I told you, I didn't do drugs or nothing in prison, and I felt the safest there. You know, because I knew the get down. You know, I knew somebody could try to get over on you, a movida.
Yeah.
When you come out to the world, I'll be the first to admit it's scary. It's a different kind of animal. Yeah. I already had tamed that animal. So to tame the world, it's untamable. You can't tame this. You could die from a heart attack. You could die from eating a cheeseburger. Yeah. I felt more safer knowing, hey, you know what? I'm going to die from somebody stabbing me. I could be on my toes. I could be ready for that enemy. Yeah. Out here, there's countless enemies, you know? Enemies. Your health, a car accident, you know?
Yeah.
And like I said, I go on podcasts because I want people that been through what I've been through to know that it's okay to get help. You know, never forget where you're from, you know, because I always love my hood. I always love my homies. But you know what? I want people to know that there's more out there, you know?
Exactly. There is more out there, you know what I'm saying? Since you've done a lot of time, you have a lot of tats.
Yes.
Is it okay if we
show
some of your tats?
So for years I didn't have no tattoos. But all my tattoos I got, you know, different yards I was in. These are from YA. They're the oldest ones that I have right there. They're old as hell. I had the BP. I got that one when I was a little kid. We're
gonna focus on them. So right now we're looking at some of Beef's tats. Let's start off with the arm. What do you got here?
So right here, when I was incarcerated, this is somebody I was with.
Really?
It was like one of my first relationships that I was in, and
what happened to that, man?
So I mean the whole lifestyle, you know.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready to be in a committed relationship, and I was still living that life, and we broke up. You know, I didn't want it. I loved the game more than I loved her.
Yeah.
And I wasn't ready to make that change.
I noticed that you have a pretty significant scar right there. What happened right there?
So right here, I was a little kid and I got stabbed right here by one of my inmates.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was a little kid before I went to YA and all that right there.
So they stabbed you. Damn, that's for a kid.
Chunk.
Yeah, that's a good little chunk, man.
That's a good chunk. Yeah.
Yeah. What else we got right here?
So right here, I got the Quetzalcoatl right here. The God of Wisdom right here. The inside, if you look good inside of it, there's a story. It's the Aztec story of Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
Because I always looked at it like one day, even though that person was not the right person, I found the right person, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's how life is. Sometimes you gotta, you know, like go up a pyramid, like in my ideology, like steps or a ladder to find that right person.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
And
what is all this in your chest?
So all right here, I haven't finished it yet, but it's right here I have NSVP, which is my neighborhood.
Yeah.
And then I have like the generation of our culture, you know?
Yeah.
Revolution. And like this is the Aztecs right here, like representing like how we started.
Yeah.
How our like, because I always feel like whether it's as a person, as a criminal, you evolve. Yeah. So when I got this tattooed, I haven't finished it, but I wanted to put another face here, another face, because I feel like behind every great man, I want to get a Emiliano Zapata here, and then right here I'm gonna get like a Montezuma or like something to do with Aztecs, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Depending on who I pick, the reason why I picked that whole ideology is because I feel like behind every great leader, there's a woman, a strong woman.
Yes, there has.
You need that sensitive side.
Yeah, you definitely need that. I noticed you have. I'm gonna look at your neck. Yeah. You have your barrio right here, man.
I have Bolen, and then I have a Beaver right here. You
have a Beaver right there.
Yeah, my wife was right. Nobody ever notices that one.
Nobody ever notices that. That's right, the Beaver. Yeah. What do we got all right here?
So right here, this is my homeboy Risky.
Risky,
we talked about, the one passed away. I got this when I was a little kid. I was going to junior high, and like 8th, 9th grade, like because when I got out of camp, I got this right here.
And you're gonna take us to his what he passed away. You're gonna take us to
we're gonna go. I'm gonna show you exactly where he passed away.
Wow, man. And for the family of Risky, our condolences. And God bless all of you. Let me see what else you got here, Kana. You got
my daughter's name, Divine.
Oh, right on.
I got this. Yeah, that was my firstborn. She's actually turning 16 this year. I got this. There's a funny story behind this tattoo because when she was born, my baby's mom was pregnant.
Yeah.
They were telling her it was a boy. And I told her, no, it's going to be a girl. I feel it.
Yeah.
So I got this tattoo before my daughter was even born.
Really?
That's how sure I was she was going to be a girl.
Wow.
Because I felt the connection.
You felt it. Yeah. You felt it.
And so I got it in memory of her. With just like my way of showing love to her,
You have a scar right there. What is that from?
Yeah, right here. So this is when I was in YA. I was sitting on the toilet, and one of my enemies stabbed me with a pencil.
Oh, wow.
And he was trying to make it all the way through, but luckily the lead broke, and it just got stuck right there.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Damn. Wow. They were trying to take you out.
They hated me, man. But it's like I told you, like they wanted to do everything to break me. But it was, in the end, I found out the only person that was going to break me was myself. Because with this tattoo right here, there's a funny story. For years in prison, the cops were like, "Who's Beaver? They're looking for me." Yeah. They never knew who I was. So one day, somebody got a tip of where in that building that I was, right?
Yeah.
So they pull on me, they pull on my celly, IGI's in there looking, and they're like, "Everybody pick up your necks." And I go like this, and they're like, "Whichever one of these guys has a beaver on his neck, that's him." And I go like this, and I'm like trying to hide it, and he goes, "No, go all the way up." And he's like, "That's him. Let's get him." So
Oh,
I learned that the only person that's gonna destroy me is me.
Yeah.
You know, and it was my pride, it was my foolishness, man.
Yeah. Let me see. What do we got right here?
I got all like Day of the Dead stuff. To me, it represents everything I love, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like in life you have to have religion, which is the cross.
You may want to go a little bit higher.
Yeah.
If you want to look at that.
Yeah, this is to me, it's religion right here.
Yeah.
And then right here, the diamond represents money, like the things that I feel empower my life.
Empower your life.
And like we're sharing that story about that guy who passed away. He wrote me these letters. And it's a funny story about this guy, because he was Vietnamese.
Yeah.
So, but what I didn't know is that he didn't speak Vietnamese.
Really?
He didn't speak Vietnamese. So I told him, hey, you know, you're my friend. I want you to write something for me in Vietnamese, saying like, hey, you know, like something powerful, right?
Yeah.
So I sent him something. Little did I know he didn't speak Vietnamese. So what he did is he got the batteries, the Duracell.
Yeah.
And it says, please do not throw away in the trash, right? If you look at the batteries, it's in Chinese right there, or Vietnamese, one of those languages, right?
Yeah.
He copies that and gives me it. So I have something that doesn't even mean nothing on my arm. Yeah, and to me, it was like, oh yeah, he did me a paro, you know?
Yeah.
And now I laugh about it because, you know, I'm just like, dude, you should have just told me you didn't speak Vietnamese.
That's
you know,
funny.
instead here I am walking around with,
write this.
Please do not throw in the trash.
That's funny.
And in my heart, I thought it meant, mother, forgive me for what I am. That's what I thought it said, because I wrote it.
Yeah.
I told him, hey, I want you something like deep.
Yeah.
And he didn't even know how to speak that. So he just wrote this bullshit, and now I got this tattoo for life.
Hey, well then, but
it's a memory
blessing.
of him. So I just laugh and I'm
so you
like,
can't
hey.
throw your stuff in the trash, homie.
Exactly.
What do you got on your back, homie?
On my
you
back,
got your,
I got a Bolen right here.
You got your Barrio right here.
Yeah, Bolen.
Really big on your back, homie.
I got this when I was in YA. And I got it. It was bigger. When I got it, it was like half of my back, almost my whole back.
Man.
But you know, I'm already older, so it gets smaller.
Yeah, Simon. What in the back of your neck?
On the back of my neck, I have Imaya, my second daughter. You know, I love her too. She lives right here. And then I got the Smile Now Cry Later.
Yeah.
And I got the crying one. I got the crying one with no tears because I look at it like, you know what? There's no tears to be shed. You know, I already shed enough tears. You know.
Wow. Yeah. I'm not gonna walk or not. Thank you, brother. Thank you for sharing. You know, that's one thing that we try to pride ourselves on. Barrio Driven. We want to, you know, the homeboys come on here. You know, they have a lot of ink and their stories. We want to, you know, bring those to you. Yeah. Let's sit back down. You can throw your shirt back on. Let's sit back down. Well, thank you for, you know, showing us all your ink right now. Mm-hmm. And so, right now, you're going to take us to your barrio. Mm-hmm. And where you've had a lot of good memories.
And bad, yeah.
And you've had a lot of bad. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Where are you going to take us to, Colonel?
So we're going to go to I picked these spots because I feel like it's real significant in my neighborhood. Like Linda's Burgers. Linda's Burgers to us was like our hangout.
Yeah.
You know, it's where we kicked it at 24/7. Every time you wanted to see somebody or you be like, hey, where's the homies at? Boom, there are Linda's.
Yeah.
You know, the second spot we're going to go to is going to be where my homeboy Risky passed away, the actual location where he got taken out. And then where he lost his life, let's say. And then where I live at, you know, so we're gonna go by my house, and then my homie Goofy's house.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. So these are significant, especially Goofy's, because you know everybody knew Goofy. Everybody here was like the hangout spot. You know, everybody. Hey, where everybody at? Goofy's house.
Goofy's pad.
Yeah. Whether you're an enemy or a friend, you were at Goofy's.
Goofy's pad. We're on our way to Northside Bolen. This is Barrio Driven. Stay tuned. Here we go. So right now we just arrived at
Linda's Burgers.
Well, it's called Linda's Burgers. It's on the corner of Hollis Street and Main, in the heart of his barrio. And man, tell me what used to occur here back in the day.
So pretty much back in the days, right here, this was like my neighborhood was a small, tiny barrio, right? We were around since like the 50s. We started as Big Bolen, and then we broke off into different pieces, and we became Northside because we're on the north part of Baldwin Park, you know. Yeah. And even though our community is small, it's like it's like, you know, they say pocos pero locos, you know, that's us. So this was us right here, Linda's Burgers. We got Compadres, Olive Square. They got J&D Liquor. All these spots were our spots right here. Pizza Co.
So this is where you guys and
this is where we would kick it at. If you look at the tables, they still have our hit ups right here.
Really?
Yeah. You can look. This is where we all used to post up right here. Well, they got new tables. So
oh man!
No, hey, they took us. They got rid of us. But I mean, this place is a landmark for us, you know.
Right here.
Yeah, and
let me ask you this, Beaves. What joyous memories do you have here, and what sorrowful memories you have here?
I mean, as far as good memories, I have memories of like me, my homie Minor, my homie Ciego, my homie Shadow. We all would post up. I used to go to school right here at Holland. We'd get out of Holland, or not, sometimes not even go to Holland, you know?
Yeah.
And we'd just come kick it right here. You know, that was the thing to do back in the days. We just post up right here. And it was good, but it was bad too, because everybody knew we were here.
As you hear.
So if anybody was gonna come get us, they'd get us right here, you know?
And the neighborhood that you would mostly go to war, what neighborhood?
We'd go at it with like East Side, 18th Street, La Puente, Bassett, Azusa, all around there is nothing but enemies.
So they knew
exactly where to come get us.
They knew that you were right here.
We're here.
So they always knew that they could catch some of them right here, which is, you know, man, that's a dangerous situation.
It's a danger zone, though.
You know what I'm saying? It's so I totally understand. Did you lose any homeboys here?
I lost a lot of homies right here. We used to always get shot right here, like 18th Street. You know, back in the 90s, it was drive-bys.
Yeah, of course.
So we'd post up right here late at night, and nobody was getting got, you know?
Oh, what if you were to, you know, name one homeboy that you
the people that passed away here
really
was
hurt you
my homeboy Risky. He passed away right here down the street.
What happened that night? Risky
so what happened is I just got out.
Yeah.
And he got out June 3rd. I got out June 5th. And you know, back in the days, everybody, you know, we don't got no big things here in Baldwin Park.
Yeah.
So we don't have to go to the mall. We go to the mall. We do our thing at the mall. We get into a little scuffle and some shit just broke loose, you know?
What exactly happened?
Well, there was words exchanged and it escalated to like a high caliber of, you know, like an argument, like people were lost.
And this happened at the mall?
This happened at the mall. And this is before there was cameras.
How did it end up here?
The way it happened is because my homeboy Risky was like, he was young, but he was active, huh? Yeah. He was one of those guys that would always tell you, like, he's the one that schooled me. He told me, like, if you're from the neighborhood, you have to always be walking up and down Main.
Yeah.
Like, as you see, we've seen some of my homies here. You come here.
We got a few of your homeboys that.
Yeah, my homie Minor. Like, we all know each other. Like, my homie Renee, you see, we're a small barrio, but we're always going to have love for each other. Whether it's 10 years, I don't see them, 2 years. Like, we're like family, you know?
Yeah, Simone.
A lot of homies, they're like, fuck that fool. I don't claim that fool no more. He's not around. Yeah. We're not like that because we're so small that it's good to see like a brother, you know, good to see somebody again, you know?
Exactly, and you know what? For you know, those that don't know about the Barrio Lifestyle, you know, when you're from a neighborhood, you are familia.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You are a family. You know, with my homeboys, homegirls, I love them. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, I may not see them for 10 years, 20 years. You know what I'm saying? No matter the situation may be, you're gonna love them.
Exactly.
Always, you know what I'm saying? Because that's family.
Yeah.
You know, because you guys go through so much in that span of life. You know, you lose homeboys, you lose. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's their lives are taken, whether it's an OG, you know what I'm saying, whether they get incarcerated and never come home, you know what I'm saying, even then, you know, when someone gets incarcerated and never comes home, it's like almost losing, it's like losing a family
you lost
member.
Another homie.
You know what I'm saying? And as we were out here, we saw a couple of your homeboys.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
my homie Minor, my homie
I'm gonna see if we could,
homie,
is it female, if we could talk to you guys?
Yeah, this is my homie Minor.
Tell me. Man, God bless you, homie.
Likewise, bro. I hope to see you again soon, too, bro.
Hey, yeah, you want,
man.
hey, most definitely. Gracias,
homie. Be cool.
So Beaves, right now, you know, a couple of your homeboys pulled up, and you know, you love them, homie.
Yeah, guy.
You know what I'm saying? You've known them probably your whole life.
Yeah, since we were kids.
Since you were youngsters. Yeah. You know, how would that affect you now, Holmes, if something were to happen to one of them?
I mean, I'd be hurt deeply because, like I was telling you, we're like a family. You know, that was. I'm from the termites, so in my neighborhood there was only the termites for years.
Yeah.
And so I mean, I feel like I would have some blame in it too because my homies, when I was like active and here all day, I'm the one that was drilling in them like, hey, you know, like let's be out here patrolling. I said when he pulled up, he was like, I'm out here patrolling.
Yeah. And
in a way I was happy when I seen it, but in a way I was sad. I was like, damn, dude, this is the shit I taught him. Excuse my language.
Simone, you're just being real though. Yeah, yeah.
And I feel like in a way, I take responsibility, and I feel kind of guilty, you know, because.
So you do have a little bit of regret in that.
I mean, I wouldn't say regrets, but I have a conscience, you know?
Yeah, Simon.
Like, I feel, because I used to read a lot when I was in prison.
Yeah.
And the reason why I would always hold on to my conscience and always read and stay focused was because I feel once you lose track of what's right and wrong or consciousness, that's when you really become a monster, you know? Because you're doing it not caring if it's right or wrong. And, you know, I did the things I did, and, like, I know it was wrong, you know? Like, and I feel that that's what keeps me human. That's what keeps me, like, grounded, you know?
Yeah. You know, right now you said that that's what turns you into a monster. And at one time you were a monster.
I was, you know, because I was out here. And not only that, but I was really embedded into the gangs, and I didn't see no life. Like, I was in prison for 25 years almost, you know? My entire youth. And to me, there was nothing out of this. You know, this little radius, this was me forever.
This was, forever.
This was me, and my goal was to be at the top of that food chain. I mean, it's nothing to brag about. I accomplished it.
Yeah.
And when I got to the top of, let's say, the pyramid, I was just like, where do I go now? Like, what else do I go, you know? Yeah, I get to come out to my neighborhood and be a hood star or feel important. But really, you know, I'm not going to file taxes and be like, oh, yeah, you know, I got the barrio, or hey, you know what, I'm respected, I'm a hood star. In reality, it's like, you don't get nothing out of that, you know? And I mean, I'm always going to love that lifestyle. I'm always going to love my homies.
Of course.
But I mean, now I'm at the point where for years I lived just for the neighborhood. I lived under somebody else's rule. And now I'm like, you know what? I gave you guys my life, and I will never regret it, and I can't take it back.
Of course.
But now it's time for me to make my own choices, live my own life, you know?
That's right. Where are we going next, Carnal?
Right here, I was gonna take you guys right here to where my homeboy passed away, literally. My homeboy Risky, and show you how close it was. Where my mom, we lived on Gates, which is the next street over. And if you look around here, like my homeboy Minor lived right here on Olive. That street right there was my homeboy Shorty. Over here was my homeboy Sharky. And then across the street, my cousin Louie. We're all from the neighborhood. And then if you go up on Main, it was Crook, my homie Midget, you know, Pee Wee. We all lived so close, you know. That's why Northside was such a tight-knit community, you know. And like I was telling you earlier, like, we didn't have to be like, oh, let's go across town, we got shot. We just, like, came outside and like, damn, they shot us. My homie got shot, or hey, you know, these fools are dumping on us, you know? And it was a good thing, but it was a bad thing, you know? My homie Memo lived right here, R.I.P. también, you know? And these are the kids that back in the days, I'm not gonna say I didn't have remorse, but I didn't really have sympathy to drill in them, because that's what I used to tell them, fool, this is the barrio, fool. The same lies they fed me, like, hey, fool, this is yours, fool, when in reality, this is not ours. We don't own the streets, you know, we just have a methodological idea that it's ours, you know? It's a dream that I could say, hey, you know what, I don't regret it, but I just feel bad that I was part of all that propaganda that I was feeding into these youngsters, you know? But it is what it is, you know? So, I mean, what can you do, you know? You just live and learn, and like I was telling you, this is Linda's, all right? And we got Pizza Co. right here, so like I was telling you, we all, you know, people see each other, hey, what's up? We're always gonna be that barrio that knows each other, you know? And in a way, I can't say that, like, I mean, I'm gonna say it, I'm proud, you know? I'm proud that I was rooted like this. I mean, I wish it would have been more productive. I wish it would have been like a sorority or like a football team, let's say, you know. But this is what we found. You know, we found each other. And I just think it's because we came from broken homes and we all had the same like faults. That we were just so tight. You know, so tight.
Let's go and
wanna go check that other place out? Okay.
It's we're gonna hop back in the car right now. And he's gonna go take us to where his homeboy, you said, was it Risky?
Yeah, my homeboy Risky passed away. Right here, that's like maybe 2 minutes away, 5 minutes away.
We're gonna go check out where, you know, rest in peace to homeboy Risky, and we're headed over there, family. Follow us.
Yeah.